Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to the iRacing Formula 3.5 Championship here at Silverstone. I'm Austin Knight. I'm joined by Alessandro Dalladone and Marco Barbonari in the production booth, and you're here watching Apex Racing TV.
We are back in the UK, Silverstone historic track, and definitely a track that people are looking forward to because tonight we got plenty of drivers and a very good strength of field. Austin, it's gonna be definitely very interesting because we have some very fast driver coming back also to the series, so really excited.
Yeah, it's going to be a very exciting race here today. Silverstone, everybody knows this track. Everybody's been practicing. It's one of the fastest tracks in iRacing, and especially in these cars, but it's also one of the most technical tracks. And I gotta say, a lot of these drivers love racing here. Some of them a little bit more than others, I can tell you. I know Everett Samborski and Tom Wedgwood, not a fan of this track. Me, as I can never seem to get a good lap around here, I can let it slide, but you know, it always provides great racing.
Absolutely. We have also some drivers coming back after a week off in Virginia. All the Japanese drivers, we have 3 today joining us in this broadcast race. Sotamuto, Tomoki Nakagawa and Yuki Shirakawa, and also Philip Presnider, who we were watching just a few seconds ago, and Jakub Obruczak from Eastern Europe joining this very tight field. In this qualifying session we have all the drivers on the track now setting their first lap. You can see how bouncy is that curve exiting that corner. You need to be very careful because this is the main spot to make a pass.
Yeah, on that straight, open up DRS, get a good exit out of Maggots, Beckett's a Chapel, and we'll send it down the inside or around the outside here. Both ways are opportunistic, especially if you get a great draft run, and then it's just clean sailing around there. But it's Silverstone. A lot of trickiness and technical can happen, especially in this final corner coming out of that chicane. It's very easy to lose it off the rear end. But it's Robert Tarleton currently in provisional pole, looking a lot like Michael Schumacher with him back in the car again. So Ben Fuller, he was Ben, I don't believe Ben was here last week. No, he was.
He won.
Yeah, he won. We didn't cover him at all because he won by an astonishing amount.
Yeah, we forgot about him, but today definitely we'll be having quite some company up front.
Oh, Fuller pulling a Lewis Hamilton, getting his first lap deleted.
Oh yeah, I think he's gonna put him under some pressure because his second lap will need to be perfect.
Actually, I shouldn't say that, more of a Max Verstappen, but it's not as windy as it was in Portimao today.
Yeah, at least the track limits around here are more consistent.
Yes. And you don't have any crazy uphill section and McLaren trying to destroy your progress. No, I'm not salty at all.
They had their fair uphill and roller coaster section last week at Virginia. Drivers definitely didn't enjoy it much since it was a very tragic race, but now we are back to conventional circuits as we're looking at the last sector of the track, which is very tight chicane. You need to be very careful because yes, you need to hit the apex and hit that curve, but if you hit these sausage curves, your car will be bouncy as ever, and yeah, you might even have some damage.
Well, Ben Fuller goes for a ride to the top of the timing sheets by an entire 10th. Fuller provisional pole, and is taken by Sotamuto.
Great
by another 10th. Wow.
Pincer is coming towards the finish line with a purple sector 1. Let's see if he can put his car in the first row. No, he doesn't.
Second row.
Place for him.
James Pincer from 9th all the way up to 3rd in his home race. He's going to be very excited for this one. I know James was looking at some new hardware equipment, so I wonder if that arrived to him, or if he's still driving with 20 pounds of weights on his foot pedal.
Definitely, that would help him just a slight bit. Racing with
Yes.
a better rig would definitely give him a little bit of speed or consistency at least. Although he's very, very fast, as is always shown in every broadcast race we've covered here in the 3.5 and also overall in other series. He's always very, very fast. As we are coming towards the end of the qualifying session, I think we have only one car finishing the lap, that being Joshua Stewart.
Pavel just invalidated his lap. Actually, no, he is just driving around right now in that atomic car. I know Pavel, he's actually a primary VR user, VR racer, and he's very vocal about which circuits is good for him and the VR community. And so, you know, I know a lot of these guys, they get up a lot of tracks, and Season 3 is looking really good with the current lineup of tracks we got going. But it's Sodamuto taking pole position as he's going to be starting up on pole, just ahead of Ben Fuller, James Peace here, Robert Tarleton, Benjamin Barreto, Tamaki Nakagawa, Yuki Shirakawa, Edward Samborski, Jorge Lopez, Fabio Carmo, Paul Ilbrink, and Carlos Derecho in 12th place. Behind them in 13th is Josh Stewart, Philippe Prejnard, Pavel Vesevev, Josbeba Rodriguez, Jamie Byrne, Jacob Orbslak, Tom Wedgwood, Dennis Corno, James Bird, Cedric Fiznak at the end of this 22 car grid.
In the meantime, Paul make sure that he doesn't get jinxed today by me. I will try my best. I cannot guarantee, Paul. I'm sorry.
Sometimes that was all on you. That was all on you last time. It wasn't me. I transferred all my jinxie power to you.
Yeah, that's not good.
It's better for me because I don't have to deal with as many Discord DMs. 25 degrees on track right now. Slightly cloudy, 47% humidity, and we got a 70-kilometer-hour brisk wind going about northwest, I believe.
This is gonna definitely affect the handling of the cars, as everyone is pretty much on the grid. Paul is joining right now, so lights are gonna be out immediately.
And now this is not our fault. He's gonna try a new strategy. 5 red lights. Starting it up right now here at Silverstone, and it's green here in the iRacing Formula 3.5 Championship, and it's a great start. We got a car stalled in the back, but it's Fuller and Tarleton racing it out into the lead. Penny's right. Oh my God!
Yeah, we have a crash at the back of the pack, and
there's
even
more carnage as well. Paul Ilbrink getting some movement as Lopez goes sliding through the arena section. But that start, turn 1, had an outstanding crash. Tarleton and Fuller side by side heading into Brooklands.
Great racing between these two drivers. They've been the most consistent drivers so far this season. Let's see if they can break at the draft and pull away from Sotamuto, who had not a very good start, starting from pole position, side by side, taking all the tarmac possible with the
They both went off the track right there. Everybody's going off the track right there. I don't think anyone's caring about the safety rating this week. They head through the first time Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel. And down the hangers straight. Fuller, Tarleton, Muto, Kingsker, Nakagawa, Shirakawa, Simborski, DeCarmo, Ilbrink, and Stewart are top 10. And it's just a carnage fest back there. We got a slow car. That is Yuki Shirakawa.
Shirakawa cut the corner, went wide, had a slowdown, and you know how treacherous is a slowdown in the opening lap, since you have no reference to base your slowdowns, you're gonna lose a lot of position and valuable time as Sebring and Samborski are side by side through the final chicane, still side by side in the right-hander, giving each other plenty of room, and Samborski makes the pass for 6th place.
Yep, Samborski able to hold that around the outside. Ilbrink tried to go it down the inside, but unfortunately that inside line is much slicker than that outside line, so I'm not surprised to see Samborski being able to pull that move off as they enter the arena once more. And Paul Ilbrink has DeCarmo on his tail. DeCarmo's on his inside. DeCarmo is getting a good run out there. We got a drag race. Ilbrink's in the draft to Samborski, so I believe Ilbrink will keep that position on DeCarmo. And DeCarmo, yep, looking down the inside, heading into Brooklands, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, great braking by Ilbrink, as we have a few drivers on pit road. Rodriguez, Byrne and Vasiliev, everyone still sitting there on pit road. Vasiliev, I think, is out of the race. But
I think 5 cars in total were involved in that incident. 2 of them got airborne.
Yeah, we'll for sure check the replay later.
Philippe Preschneider, I believe, was also in there, and Jamie Byrne might have been, as they're really off the pace right now. So 5 cars, I believe, in total in that. 3 of them definitely in the pits. One of them almost being like Kevin Magnussen of flying through the air in turn 1, like that one time when the Haas just stopped its brakes working.
Someone profiting from that is definitely Finsack, who we saw start really slow, giving plenty of space to the drivers in front, and now back into 17th place with empty car, as we are on board with James J. Pinsker in 4th place, trying to keep up with Muto. You can see how drivers can close down the gap into this section, but then once we get to other corners where the downforce is more important than dropping back, because dirty air in this track was for sure it's gonna play a big part.
Yeah, that dirty air is going to be very hard for drivers to stay as close to each other, especially through all these medium speed corners. Now, it's going to play a double-edged sword. It's going to hurt you guys the closer you get in most of these corners, especially right here. But it's also going to help you in the straight catch up to the car in front of you, especially down that long hanger straight. So you're going to be seeing a lot of single file lines going on, unless you're Ben Fuller, who was able to pull out a gap of 1.3 seconds ahead of Robert Tarleton. Tarleton just being affected by dirty air, but he's got Sotomuto on his tail.
Yeah, let's see if Ben can keep this trend up and open the gap even more. This lap looks like it. Look how he's flying away.
DRS. He's using DRS on the straights. He's gonna try to use all that DRS at the start and try to pull out that gap immediately, and hope he can keep that pace throughout the race, and hope that Robert Tarleton can't get him at the end of the race. And Tarleton's currently busy with Sotomuto right behind him.
Yeah, he's banking on opening big enough for the gap to not give Tarleton any draft, and then on Japanese driver Muto trying to make a pass on Tarleton for 2nd place. But this could come back to him towards the end if he doesn't open a big gap posting, because we've seen already in these very tough and interesting races that we have a slow car.
James Byrne. I think he's just letting everyone pass, and Wedgwood's around. And the new track racer driver, Tom Wedgwood, having some problems right there.
A tough week for him. Let's see the replay here from Wedgwood.
Well, it looks like Tom just lost on his own. And oh, that's the 21 of Corno.
Yeah, he went a bit wide and lost it. Thankfully, he was pointing the right direction. Didn't lose much time.
I really want to know what happened to Byrne. I think he was just a lap down and letting people by.
Yes, he just came out of the pits. I think he went into the pits 2 times.
Ah.
And now was just making sure to let everyone through. and not disturb anyone being multiple laps down, as Tartan is still in second place, but 2 seconds is the gap on Ben Fuller, so Tartan now looking more at the mirror rather than in front.
I know Robert Dalton, he's not usually one to look in the mirror. He's always straight ahead, but the DRS uses by Ben Fuller is really giving him this advantage right now, and I'm going to be excited to see what Tarleton can do throughout this race, see if he can catch up to Ben Fuller, because we all know on how fast Ben is, but he's got to watch out for Soda Muto, who was our pole sitter, and, well, dropped down immediately to third after Ben and Robert just smoked him on the start.
Absolutely. We haven't seen much from Sotamuto yet, but with his iRating definitely shows why he's #1 in the field iRating wise.
Yeah, 8,000.
8,000 iRating and showing plenty of speed in qualifying. I think he will be definitely looking to get a second place as we have a side-by-side.
Look at this.
Moment.
Josh Stewart inside of Exposito. Exposito trying to hold it around the outside, get that power down as fast as he can. He's getting onto the curb. He's going to go way around the outside right there. He also got Barreto right behind him, but Josh Stewart able to hold it down to the inside and be the head of this nose-to-tail 4-car train right now, followed by Ditro and Barreto in the battle for 10th place.
Yeah, very difficult to follow through this section, but if you are close enough, even without the draft, you can actually try to make a pass. 8 DRS is available for the drivers to use whenever they want throughout the race.
I believe they were all using it right there to try to get an advantage. I saw Ditro had his DRS open right behind Lopez, but I believe Lopez also had his DRS open behind Josh, who also had his DRS open.
Yeah, if you are smart enough, you can definitely gain a lot of position with this DRS, as Sotamuto tried to make the pass on the outside. Now with the switchback will have a better exit speed than Tartan.
It was a good opportunity for Sotamuto right there, but he is really in that trap. DRS for Robert Tarleton. Sotamuto on his tail. Sotamuto looking onto the outside after riding on that gearbox, trying to swing it around to the outside as they head into Brooklands and Woodcut. Still right there. Now he's onto the inside. Sotamuto making a move on Tarleton. Can Sotamuto pull it off? Muto for second place. Muto. P2.
Yeah, it's not over yet. Austin Tarleton coming toward, from the outside. We'll have,
we've seen this on lap 1. Tarleton's not fearful to let go and go as far wide as he can without getting a slowdown. Tarleton still onto the outside now. Tarleton back down to the inside. James Peasker is watching this and probably eating some popcorn right now. And Tarleton able to keep P2.
Okay, the one saying thank you guys, Ben Fuller is gone. 3.5 seconds now is the gap between him and Tarleton. Will take a miracle to catch back to him, as these guys will fight really hard for the 2 remaining.
These 2 will fight. James, knowing James, he is not going to fight. James Pincer is he's just here being consistent and doing what he does best, staying behind 2 very competitive cars, and if something happens, surprise podium. Well, not a surprise, really. We've seen him up there a lot, but very consistent driving from James Pincer. Aaron Samborski up 3 spots as he is ahead of Tomoki Nakagawa right behind him, who is in a battle with Fabio De Carmo, who's able to swing it around to the outside.
Yeah, great racing.
And Fabio, yeah. Energy Simsport. Yeah, I believe that is their Twitter. So, you want to go follow some of these guys in the officer. 2-car incident. I believe Jakob having a little bit of a problem.
Let's see the replay. We have a speeding car there. Yeah.
Oh, that's Josh Stewart.
Oh.
Josh! Oh, no.
Innocent bystander there.
Yeah.
For Jakob Ruslak, unfortunately. Stewart didn't see him at all.
Yeah, Barreto gets turned.
everything happening at the same time.
Yep, just like lap 1. And
Oh, we have a
oh,
big
Nakagawa's off coming out of Chapel.
He managed to keep the car in one piece, but that was definitely a big moment for the Japanese driver, Muto's teammate, for 465 Garage.
Yeah, the 465 garage. Marco giving us Japanese lessons that, you know, it's in English, we're going to say 465.
Yeah, lap 8 of 21, 15 minutes into the race, as Obruzlak is entering pit road with a damaged car, so his race will be done. He will probably change front wing and hopefully come back, but still far off from the other drivers. And Marco, if we can, we are asked by our viewers if we can have a look quickly at the start and the crash in turn 1. We haven't shown a replay yet of it, and I'm eager to see what happened.
Well, here is from Rodriguez, who is, oh, well, I believe Rodriguez started it off. Then we got a car up in the air, and yep, 5 cars in the wall, and we got 1 car that's spinning like a top and doing a little break dance right there. And was that Pavel? I think that, yeah, that was the atomic car Pavel. And he's in VR too, so, oof. Oh.
Hopefully,
I'm gonna be seeing that in the forums. Let's start on board. And Pavel on the outside of that incident. The car just gets right into his side, gets absolutely catapulted into the wall. And, well, that's his race over, and that's a, well, nausea bag being given to him.
A medical center will definitely be busy, as Stewart is having still more trouble. Back in 18th place and lost some time and I think also position. So day to remember also for Joshua Stewart so far.
Yeah, a few drivers having good days, few drivers having a few bad days. I gotta say the person who probably has the best day right now is Ben Fuller. He's leading by 3 seconds, but also Cedric Fisnak is up 9 spots right now, and he started at the end, and he, you know, at the start of the race, when I said there was a car stalled, that was the stalled car.
Yeah, I think he took it just gently in the opening corners. He knew something was gonna happen, and just in making sure to go through the carnage with the unscript car. We know that he's fast. He has shown plenty of speed multiple times so far this season, and he's aiming for a top 10. He's not really close to the ratio. 8 seconds is the gap, but you never know. The race is still very, very long. Only 9 laps in, as we have a replay.
Yeah, let's watch this from Cedric's start. He's sitting at neutral, and I think this is just his strategy all along. Yep, green, and, well, he just gears it up right there, and it's just one of those moments where you're just like, I'm just going to take this easy, something's going to happen, and boom. 5 spots, gain, 1 corner, and, well, if this was a live Stewart series, that would definitely be a safety car being called out.
Yeah, that start looked very, very planned from the back. And too much time between the lights out and first gear for Finsak, and definitely paid off well, as we are now on board with Edward Samborski defending from Locarno in 6th place. They have 3.5 seconds on the pincers, so they are far off the trio in 2nd, 3rd and 4th place, but these drivers definitely not short on pace.
Yeah, Ed Samborski was talking about his races so far this week, and it's not been the best of weeks for him. And he was joking with me that he might change the smiley face on his helmet to the frowny face. But obviously he did not do that. And, you know, it's been a good week, good race for him right now. Up 3 spots and currently sitting at the top 5.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very good result considering...
Tom's had a problem. Tom's out.
Yeah, he had enough. I think he had a big off and call it a day.
Corner. Oh, no.
Same spot as Nakagawa earlier.
This is Tom Wedgwood, and well, he got onto the car, big wiggle and corrected it hard into the wall. Oh, doesn't that remind you of Daniel Kvyat last year?
Yeah, and here instead is the mistake by Cornu. Plenty of drivers having trouble this first half of the race. You can see the gaps, everyone very tight in the midfield, but then you see drivers dropping back towards the end of the standings at quite a few moments, to say the least, as the car was still trying to navigate through Samborski. A very tough task for sure for the car.
Yeah, DeCarmo sitting in the draft of Samborski, and Wallace just staying there. And he's got a good opportunity for a great run coming out of Chapel. And down hanger straight right now, but Samborski is so persistent through this corner. And I was driving Samborski's setup and a few other drivers' setup this week. A lot of begging went into that. And I gotta tell you, Ed drives one particular setup compared to what someone like Tom Wedgwood would drive.
But this guy definitely allows you to personalize, customize the settings to your preference. You have plenty of settings, and it's amazing how different they can be.
Yeah, a lot of different setups, but I gotta say the best place to find ways to drive this car and tune a car to your liking. And for just good baseline setups, Apex Racing Academy provides some of the best setups for this car that I gotta say, and the best guides to really improve your pace. They've been helping me out a lot with, well, putting down good laps. Now, finishing a race, that's a completely different story. But Apex Racing Academy definitely big helping out for these person. I know out Samborski, he uses it. But he likes to tweak their setups, too, to personalize his style.
Absolutely, and not forget also that he's integrated with our other sponsor of the broadcast and of Apex Racing TV, Virtual Racing School, so you can find everything well put in a single web page with 50 plus data packs, track guides, data analysis softwares, and one-on-one coaching sessions. Anything you might need, so make sure to check them out. Just Google Virtual Racing School and you will find any kind of data pack for over the road, whatever you may need in your racing career. So for sure these are very good setups to get started with any car, especially the 3.5, which has plenty of settings and tweaks you might not really know what to touch, as we have another off.
Berto, he's off in Chapel, and well, that's the first time I've seen a driver engage reverse gear and completely get back onto the track in a 3.5 car. Much faster than Lewis did at Imola.
Oh,
but
yeah.
this is coming out of Chapel, up just too much onto the grass, and that's the third car we've seen end up in that exact spot.
Yeah, it's difficult, Austin, to do these corners pushing so hard. They are very, very good drivers, plenty of experience in the car, plenty of rating, but still, it is a very treacherous track. Always very slick in that particular corners, and running always to the limit. We've seen plenty of drivers making some minor mistakes, but costing them quite a lot of time tonight. lap 13 of 21. Tartan still in front of Muto. Pincer lost a bit of time. He might be dropped from Muto's slipstream, but it is also important to say that Tartan closed slightly the gap on the race leader Ben Fuller, who we are looking at now. Let's also give him sometimes some TV time, Austin, otherwise he will always complain. I'm always in the lead and you guys never show my livery. He's doing a very good job also today, absolutely. Let's have a look at this gap comparison. You can see the gap being very, very stable, around 2.7 seconds in the last 5 or 6 laps.
Sorry if you hear any background noise. My phone's giving me another notification of flooding, and we got a Paul Illenbrink big sideways right there.
Yeah, Paul trying to keep up with Samborski and Carmo. He has been in 7th place for most of the race, and he's having a solid run. As the race seems to have calmed down a little bit. Hopefully I'm gonna jinx it, so we have some more action. Hopefully it does also work this way, not only in a bad way. Carmo always very close to Samborski.
Carmo was getting a good run. He gained a lot of time through there. But,
yeah, but
just coming out of Chapel, Samborski gets him right there. Still nose to tail with each other as they head down the hanger straight, and well, once again continue on. I know Silverstone has like some of the most famous names and corners in all of motorsports, but me being American, I do not really. I just know them by 1, 2, and 3, and 4. I can count higher than 4, not just 4. Before anyone makes that NASCAR joke.
Oh, I was about to do it.
I know, that's why I said it.
Tartan is looking under threat by Muto. Has been very, very close all the race, but Muto definitely now will be looking to make the pass happen, as Tartan goes a little bit wide, but with the right-hander coming, it won't affect him that much. 2.2 is the gap now, so closing down. Probably Tartan will also have some few DRSs to use towards the end of the race. So it's not over for Fuller. He needs to keep putting solid lap times, otherwise he will be under threat by Robert Tartan and Sotomuto.
Yeah, Tarleton still got Moto on his hand.
Well,
Yuki Shirakawa! Oh my goodness, what a save!
he probably has some experience with drifting, I guess, because look at that.
Well, Eurobeat engaged. Oh my god. Hey, not an off track. That was not an off track.
Oh yeah, he kept it on the black stuff.
And new fastest lap for Sotomuto. Well,
43.0.
it's
Wow.
not faster than Tarleton. Tarleton put in a 42.98, but Tarleton was a naughty boy and went off track. So, tisk, Robert. Keep it between the white lines.
Yeah, similar lap time also to Ben Fuller, you said earlier. Both drivers we have 43.05, but the Japanese driver slightly faster. You can see they have pretty much the same pace, Austin, but that scrap that these drivers had towards laps 5 or 6 really gave Ben Fuller the chance to pull away and open a decent margin to keep running in space and not to really worry much about them, and this gave definitely Ben some confidence and ability to run in space without really having to bother much about watching the mirrors.
And look at this, Charlton has gained on Fuller. You know that 3-second gap that we were talking about at the start of this race? It's now at 2 seconds.
Indeed, the race is not over, I told you. With DRS still into place for both drivers, probably Tartan will have some more if he hasn't used to defend from Muto during this mid part of the race, but 1.8, so it's coming really fast. Shirakawa defending from derecho, defending his 9th place. After that spin, a bit of time to cool down the tires, make sure not to slide and have a high temperature, which is always very tricky with this tire model after a spin. But let's keep an eye on the battle for the
second.
Udo Carmo, I think, is off.
Oh, Fabio. Oh, no, that's a big hit for Fabio.
Yeah,
no front wing forward damage, and, well, I'm going to have to say suspension damage as well. This is with Samborski, and another race with Samborski. And, oh, this is just a failed over-under.
Yeah, I literally have no idea.
Samborski defending onto the inside, goes back to the middle. That could, oh, there's the double move right there. Now, Samborski could defend himself saying, hey, he was going to go back down to the inside, and he was already doing his line, but I can see Fabio saying that was a double move going to the braking zone, and kind of like that.
To be fair, I don't think there was actual contact between the drivers.
No, there wasn't contact. It was just a correction. But
in the end,
that was from that from a double move right there.
You hate to see that these two drivers had such a great battle, and this promotes everyone from 6th place downwards. Up a spot, and poi Libero will inherit 6th place from the Carmo. Dopo Shirakawa derecho, move up another spot, and Nakagawa bounced back into the top 10 after an early spin in the first part of the race. Little moment for Ben Fuller under braking, lost a bit the car, a bit free. But 1.7 still the gap, almost 3.5 laps.
Yeah, he's slowly gaining it. I do not believe this is with DRS enabled. Charlton is just really pushing it. But now it is DRS enabled, and that's Byrne around. Jamie Burns around. His brother, James, is, well, he was involved in that lap 1. And this is Finsack. Under pressure by the 20 of Philippe Fresnader. And Fresnader down the inside. What a move. And now he's going to have to, well, try to defend it down the inside through Abby. That's the corner name.
Yeah, indeed. And Fresnader coming back and getting that position quite easily now. Will try to pull away, but
wait, does that say Flemmenwerfer on the back on his rear wing? Yes.
Flemmenwerfer, okay. So.
Oh, and goes off the track right there, but keeps it straight. This is going to allow Finsack to easily get that position back, and well, Freshener is going to have to break out the Flemmenwerfer again in the upcoming 2 laps.
Yeah, he should put it on the McLaren GT3. That would be definitely more appropriate.
Oh my goodness, that car is just a flamethrower. And speaking of a flamethrower, Charlton is pretty much spewing flames out the back of his car as he is on fire. New fastest lap, 1:42.73. 1.4 seconds behind Ben Fuller with 3 laps to go here at Silverstone.
Yeah, it's not over, but he always to keep an eye on the guy behind him, Shota Muto, because if he tries to make a pass,
it's going to be big.
Yeah, absolutely. Asper Schneider and Finn Saka are fighting really, really hard again, and this gave the chance to Barato from 13th place to close the gap, and now we have teammates swapping position, giving plenty of room. Finn Saka letting Barato by, and he will be the one now looking to
extinguish the Flammenwerfer.
Indeed.
I really love the Flammenwerfer.
These two drivers, though, I don't think it was really planned, this change of position, because Barato had to work quite hard to make the pass. But now they will definitely try to get the Flammenwerfer and 11th place in the last 2 laps, as Ben Fuller has 1.3 of a second now. So
look at those times that they just set. Fuller 142.9, wow. Tarleton 142.8, Soda Muto 142.9. That is insane.
Indeed. Let's see if also the finish of this race is gonna be insane, because the gap is almost down to a second now.
Yeah, Fuller feeling the pressure. Tarleton closing in on Ben Fuller, his championship rival. Or can Soda Muto make a move on Tarleton and Fuller coming on? White flag is about to come out right now. And Ben Fuller through Beckett's Chapel has a 1 second cushion, but he is still losing time to Robert Tarleton. He's been struggling with tire wear. We will see more wiggles for him now. And here comes Tarleton on the back straight.
Yeah, Fuller struggling with tire temperature. I think he's having some trouble putting power down and keeping the car on the track in the last few laps, and Tarleton now is well within a second, so he might have a chance if he's lucky enough in the last lap. It's gonna take a mega lap from Tarleton to close and attempt to make a pass, but you never know. Races are only over once you cross the finish line. Muto with the fastest lap, 42.5.
Now Soda Muto, he might just try to pass Tarleton as soon as he can and go for that second spot instead of letting Tarleton fight for Fuller and have these two try to chase down Ben right here. And so we might have 2 fights emerging in the same lap. White flag is out as it's Tarleton, Muto, nose to tail, just in each other's gearboxes right there. And here comes Soda Muto going down to the inside. Muto trying to hold it around the outside. He was in the opposite seat where Tarleton held it around to the outside and got the overspeed off the end. Soda Muto enabling DRS. Tarleton enabling DRS as well. It's a drag race heading down to Abbey around the old start finish late. And it's going to be Soda Muto leading into Abbey right there. Just barely getting his touch. No. And James Piesker at his home track. He played it easy. He's going to be finishing in 3rd place after an unfortunate tap from Robert Tarleton. This is going to allow Ben Fuller to lead it home here and, quote, get in there at Silverstone.
Yeah, great race when Ben profited from early scrap between Tarleton and Muto, and he will be our winner here in the UK. Ben Fuller with the win. 2nd place for Robert Tarleton, and lucky 3rd place, as you were predicting earlier, Austin, for James J. Pincer. Muto in 4th. I will definitely not be happy about that mistake. We will see a replay shortly.
Yeah, there was a tad bit of netcode in there, but Muto, he had the position heading into the corner, and then just netcode tap, and unfortunately Soda Muto got into the gravel but he still finished in 4th place. And you see how this move was able to happen. DRS around the outside and just unfortunate turn right there.
Last few drivers coming.
Yeah, Josh Stewart finishing in 16th place. He's probably not going to be happy about that. After, well, a okay start, but unfortunately had some mid-race contact and fell down the grid. Jakob Orbslak finishing in 17th. And, well, first, I believe Jakob was actually, he was the first car hit, I believe, in that lap 1 collision. He's going to come home to 17th, so, hey, good recovery drive.
Yeah, absolutely. Got lucky. Went back on pit road and changed the front wing and got back on track and score some decent laps to finish the race in 17 plus 1 and limit his iRacing loss. So good job.
Yeah, Ben Fuller takes the win by 3.6 seconds after a eventful last lap of Robert Tarleton taking 2nd place, followed by James Pincer. Sotomuto unfortunately finished in 4th place after a very hard-fought race, and he is followed by Edward Sam Borski in 5th place, Paul Ilbrink, Jorge Lopez, Yuki Shirakawa, Carlos Derecho, Tomoki Nakagawa, Felipe Preschneider, Benjamin Barretto, Cedric Finsack, Jamie Byrne, Dennis Corner, Josh Stewart, Jacob Orbslak, Fabio DeCarmo, Tom Wedgwood, James Byrne, Joseph Rodriguez, and Pavel Vesevel, who is okay, but he's definitely in the hospital after that insane flip he took in lap 1.
Absolutely. Medical center has been quite busy after that turn 1 incident, but we have here our race winner with Austin 90 is Ben Fuller.
Ben, what a race you had. You started in 2nd place and you beat out Sotomuto on that start off the line. How was that race? And what was your strategy? Just run away from it at the start?
Yeah, well, man, that was intense. I mean, after today's race, the 145 split, man, I didn't really think this was going to happen. Coming in this week, I felt pretty good. You know, I felt quick. I thought the setup was coming along, and then I don't know what happened the last 2 days. It just wasn't connecting anymore, and really lacked the confidence in the car. And got into a race earlier today with Robert, and he was 3 or 4 or 5 tenths quicker than me. So, you know, I came in today really hoping for a podium and maybe a top 5. You know, just try to bank some points, get some IR, and move on to Interlagos. But yeah, I mean, I was pretty unhappy with qualifying. It wasn't a horrible lap, but it definitely could have been better. And yeah, I just got fortunate on the start. I think Soda needs to practice the starts a little bit more, and he'll get it down. It's great having more and more top guys out here every single week, so I'd love to see him come back. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to apologize to Robert on the first lap. Is it Stowe or Cops incident? I didn't really mean to run him out that wide. I turned in as much as I could, and the car just wouldn't turn anymore. There's tailwind and first lap tires, so my apologies for that. That wasn't my intention.
To be fair, I think everybody was. I think everybody lap 1 always goes wide there. It's just the thing you do at Silverstone.
Yeah, the conditions there were just absolutely horrible today. I mean, a tailwind through the entire Magus Beckett's chapel section, and just no turn in at Cops. So it was tough conditions for sure. It could have been better.
And do those conditions affect your tire? Where we saw you at the end of the race really struggling with those rear tires. You were losing a lot of time to Tarleton. Talk us through those final 5 laps.
Yeah, I mean, this track is crazy on the tire wear. The front left gets a beating, but those rears, they just never seem to cool down. I made some mistakes and definitely need to learn from this, but I was really trying to keep him out of the draft range, because I knew that if he could get in a draft, he'd probably have DRS and would have a shot at me. So when I saw him fighting with Soda, I was quite happy. But yeah, man, that was really intense there at the end. I'm happy to bring it home.
All right, congrats, Ben. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank?
Yeah, big thanks to Michael at TQE as always. You know, I think we made good progress early in the week. Not sure what went wrong the last 2 days, but I know we're making steps forward, and that's the most important thing. So always grateful for the help that I get over there.
All right, thank you, Ben, and you have yourself a good day, good afternoon, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, guys. You too.
And joining Alessandro is Robert Tarleton.
Yes, we have Robert here in the booth. Good race, Robert. That was really, really close. Just a bit of speed lacking to get Ben towards the end, and unfortunately, the last lap things got a bit wrong with Muto, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was a pretty disappointing race. I think like if we were to finish based off of outright pace, I think Sota probably first. Maybe I could have gotten second. But that's just how it is. Yeah, pretty disappointing. I think I really need to work on my qualification. I felt like I had the pace to be competing for first, but then, you know, so did Sota, and we kind of lost some time battling. But with that said, I definitely can't blame him because I think he had even more pace than me. So, yeah, I think I just need to work more on my qualifying and try to find a little more pace.
Yeah, definitely. Ben is getting always these great starts, opening a gap, and with such a tight field and such a great lineup every week. Wherever we go in the racing world, the start and the opening few laps are crucial to be able to fend Ben's attempts.
Yeah, and that was definitely why I was pushing to try to get past him right on that first lap. I think if I played it a little bit better, I think I could have gotten it to stick, but that's just how it goes.
Well, let's look forward to the next week. We are going back to America, but South America. We are going to the Autodromo Carlos Pace at Interlagos, 27 laps, another very tough track.
Yep. Looking forward to going to the next week.
For sure. Also, we are looking forward because these races are always such amazing races to call. And before we let you go, Robert, anyone you would like to thank?
I'd say mainly I just want to apologize to Sota. I think it ended up being that we had contact there. When I was going to the corner, I wasn't quite sure if he was going to come down or not, so I just held my line. With that said, it looked like we cleared just barely, but I couldn't tell if he got loose over the bump because there's a bump at the apex or if we actually touched. But talking to him after, it sounded like he felt a nudge on his side, and that's what caused him to get loose. So just definitely want to apologize for that. I think based on that race, he probably should have gotten second.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for joining us, Robert, and have a wonderful Sunday.
Thank you, too.
Well, I think, Austin, we have time for another quick interview with James J. Pinsker. Hey. Hello, James. I think Austin is Oh, there he is.
Totally forgot my mic was muted right there.
Good job.
Well, James, it was a very good race for you. You had a great start at the coming off the line, and well, you just sat in fourth for most of the race until the end, where well, you were just really in your own land really throughout the race.
Yeah, I mean, obviously winning here last season, I had kind of some expectation to like have some pretty good pace. And honestly, I always stood by this opinion. This car, the Formula Renault 3.5, at this track, Silverstone, is best combination on iRacing. It feels so fun. I love driving around here. Which always helps because it just makes practice really fun. But I think the raw pace versus particularly Robert and Sota and Ben was, yeah, these guys were incredible today. I think by the end of the race, I was kind of getting there. I was I was finding a little bit more pace as the race went on. But yeah, I mean, particularly Sota and Robert were doing some stupid lap times in the mid part of the race, and that's when I kind of lost touch with them. Kind of resigned myself to finishing fourth.
Yeah, you had a gap behind you, gap in front of you, and well, you really were just minding your own business throughout the race, and in case something happened, it was a podium, which something happened, and we're here.
Yeah. I mean, I keep myself excited because I'm not gonna. Even if I have a big gap ahead and behind, I don't stop pushing. I want to always be doing quick laps. I want to always be trying to set the good times and trying to show what potential I have. So I was still pushing the car pretty hard. I mean, I made a few mistakes in turn 4 especially. That was a really tricky corner because this session was pretty low grip. Turn 4 was really bad. But yeah, I kind of got some decent pace going. It was pretty much on my own. And then seeing Sota off in the gravel on the last lap was a bit of schadenfreude, I guess. I feel sorry for him because, again, he has really good pace. Deserved to be on the podium, but it was just pretty much bad luck, that contact they had in Cops on the last lap with a tiny bit of netcode. And I don't know. I've had plenty of bad luck in the last few races. I should take my slice of good luck and collect the podium.
All right. Well, James, you are going to be collecting today's podium. Before we let you go and celebrate that and hopefully get some more good luck for next week, anyone you want to thank?
Thank the ARTV for providing a broadcast. Thank everyone in the field for a fun race. Wait, I need to check something. I think it's been my last podium in this was week 8 last season, so it's been like 3 months since I got a podium in here, so which is pretty overdue. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah, it's great to see you back here.
Yeah, I know, it's been so long. Like, I won a championship and I won a championship last season. I can't even get on these guys are so good. It's impossible. But yeah, I mean, massive grats to Ben, Robert, and Sota because these guys are really quick. Really quick here. But yeah, happy with that race and cheers to the broadcast, guys.
All right, thank you, James. You have yourself a good night. Alessandro, any closing words?
Well, another great race. Amazing lineup as usual. Great drivers with a lot of respect, and sometimes contests are inevitable. For sure, Sotomuto won't be happy with Tarton today, but he will have plenty of time to come back. Like next week at Interlagos, another amazing racetrack, historical racetrack, where Slipstream is gonna come into effect, but at the same time also that middle sector is gonna be definitely very tricky.
It certainly will be a entertaining race next week, and I don't know why about Interlagos, but I will not be here next week as there is a very big wedding happening. So Marco is going to be joining you in the commentary box. But thank you everybody for joining us here in the iRacing Formula 3.5 Championship. I've been joined by Alessandro Dalladone and Marco Barbaneri in the production booth, and I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a good night.